All right. It's Jared here from Crypto Plan, and how is everyone going? We're going to have another look at the Harmony 1 chart because it's been a few days since this accumulation has happened. So I'm going to give a few thoughts on how I think Harmony is going. And but before we do that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and share it with your friends if you want to teach them a little bit about chart analysis through the eyes of an Aussie guy living in Ireland. Anyway, that's enough of that. We are on our usual chart, the Harmony on the Wobby chart. Wobby. Somebody tell me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Over Tether on US dollar, so on the 4 hourly. So I like the 4 hourlies. People asking me about time frames. I think in crypto, the 4 hourly chart is like the daily chart in stocks. Because it's a 24-hour chart, a lot can happen in 4 hours, you know, like a lot of price action. And I guess if we just quickly go to the daily, you can't see as much there. You know, it's nearly like, oh, this thing went up in a straight line when it actually didn't. It stepped its way up, you know, it did little cups. And so I think the 4 hourly for, you know, for I guess position trading, maybe some swing trading, 4 hourly. Yeah, that's what I use. That's what I like to use, and that's why I like to use the 4 hourly. And now also I would drop down to smaller time frames from time to time. If I was like, ooh, what's going on? There's like this doji candles here. I want to know what's going on in that particular candle. I might drop down to a 30-minute or something like that, you know, and just kind of see what the structure was and how it all played out. But the 4 hour is usually my starting point in crypto and in stocks. Anything from if it's a longer breakout that I'm looking for, monthly candles are great because it gives you a really, you know, you can get a nice picture of the downtrend and where it needs to break out. Maybe weekly if it's a crypto, if you're looking for if you're looking for, say, at the breakout of XRP from a 4-year bear market, you're going to use a weekly chart because the monthly chart is, there's not enough data for the monthly chart, I don't believe. So, and then the daily chart is for your price action, just to kind of see and get a feel for it. But I think sometimes when you get stuck in the daily time frame, sometimes you are seeing this up and down and you're getting a little bit, you know, you can get shaken out a little bit. You know, I think it is better to look at the monthly if you're a long-term investor. Anyway, One Harmony, what are you doing, you little beautiful thing? We are in the range. All I've done to this box is dragged it out a bit just because it was kind of getting to the edge and I can't see it being resolved yet. 1, 2, 3 tests of the up, come around again, a test again. This particular candle is not showing me anything. I think considering Bitcoin has corrected, I think we're going to continue to go sideways in this range a little bit longer. As predicted, 16 cents was always going to be that particular range where I thought there would be a little bit of resistance, and it has played out that way. And if we kind of zoom back a bit, you know, we've got this uptrend and then a steeper uptrend and then that even steeper uptrend, and at some point the uptrend had to break. So for me, I'm looking at the potential still that it would dip down towards this uptrend line and then potentially bounce back and kind of get up towards this uptrend line at some point for that more parabolic move. Now, for anyone that's been watching these videos a little bit, I've put another pink line up there. And I put that pink line up there because that is where One Harmony would go to go as far from the March lows as Theta. Because to me, Theta is the most bullish altcoin that I'm watching anyway. I'm sure there's more bullish ones in smaller market caps that have extended further. But, you know, for the more mainstream coins that a lot of people have piled into, and there's a lot of fundamental stuff and this and that and partnerships and Google and Samsung and don't knock my coin, I'm part of the Theta crew kind of style. the 48, Theta has now moved at its peak 416 times from its March low, right? So from that March low down here, it's extended 416 times, and it's not looking like it's slowing down. I always had a kind of a resistance target of 1269 for Theta. It's kind of shot through that. Like, it probably will pull back. I think it's definitely due for a correction. It's a long way from its 50-day, 200-day moving average. So it's definitely has the opportunity to want a pullback. So Theta's moved that far. So I thought, well, okay, so if One Harmony is becoming pretty bullish, how far would it, or what would be the price in One Harmony if it had moved 416 times from its March low? And that's where we get. So we get 48 cents, which is pretty close to my 44-cent target in the next kind of measured move, right? So we're round and about, and I think that's the time where I'm going to be looking at it going like, where's the market? One Harmony's at 44 cents. Do I want to take a little bit of risk off the table? Is there other things that haven't pumped yet that I want to kind of siphon some profits downwards to get, capture another 10% out of something that hasn't run yet? So it's definitely a marker, and I think I'm going to continue to use Theta's bullishness to try and raise the bar on one. So if Theta goes and does, another 50% on top of this price, well, then we'll add another 50% on top of that Theta target, and then we might kind of get a realistic idea of where something like One Harmony could end up, still knowing that, there's this consensus out there that it could be $1. Happy to still have that in mind, but I'm also a realistic kind of trader that wants to take profit out of this market. I don't want to have $1 target and it only ever reaches 93 cents. And then I took nothing out of it because it didn't get to $1. I never sold a thing. I held with diamond hands. It went to 93 cents and then crashed back down to 26, So these things can happen. They've happened in the past. You need to be realistic, and you need to be able to set realistic targets for scaling out. To try and pretend that anyone could have bought that bottom and will sell the exact top is absolutely ludicrous, because if they did that, they'd potentially be lying, and if they did that, it was complete luck, because nobody has that capability of foreseeing the future like that unless they're a time traveler. And hey, we can go down that rabbit hole a little bit later. But anyway, I just thought I would update you on that chart, that we are still in the range. The range is good. The range is holding. Potential for, a buy the dip down to 13-ish, maybe. But also that potential to kind of go sideways and break on out of there and really test our 44 to 48 cent price target. I'm holding strong on that. I believe in it. And, for those of you out there that are holding 100,000 plus of these things, you'd take that any day of the week if you if you bought it at 4 cents, half a cent or 0.4 of a cent. That's a great profit. Let's walk away from this market having been winners and not been people that sat there and watched the popcorn go up in the air and then fall back down and land on our laps. That is that. I am also, as you all know, following Cake very closely, and it is now really testing the upper boundary of this triangle. Potentially going to come back down again and then fire it out of there. So if you're not in Cake yet, good time to buy. We're at the apex of this triangle. If you buy here, it goes down, you buy a bit more. If you buy here, it goes up, you buy the breakout again. You're a winner either way. This thing is going to continue. When assets or markets or whatever you want to call them come into a pattern like this, and then they do this pattern, the likelihood is, considering we're in a bull market, is that they'll break out in the direction they came in. So it came up into this triangle, it should go up out of this triangle. So there is still a very, very slight chance, very slight chance that it breaks to the downside, but I don't believe it will. The fact that it followed that angle for so many 4-hour periods in that general range says that this is the triangle that we're looking for. Volume spiking up. We're looking to head out of there. There's some serious price action there, some serious volume action. Pancake is going to make a large move, and for me, it is that 46-cent mark. So hopefully you're accumulating that, and there's some nice things going to happen. I think the other one we're watching is Reef. So I've widened this parallel channel out a little bit because it took a little bit more of a dive today, but proved again that a bit more volume came in and buyers came in. So they're saying that this level is a good dip to buy. All we're waiting for is that to break this range again. So once we're out of that 5.5 cents, we should fire it out of there and test this upper edge of the channel again, which would be in the 13 and possibly 20-cent range if we go a little bit more bullish than the last time. So that's the ones that I'm watching for a breakout. Hathor Networks is also nearly complete accumulation, I believe. Starting to get bullish. Volume stepped up a bit. We could see that thing fire out again. Got this range up here, plus $2 range. Lovely to see Hathor move up another leg. And what else have we got? Game is doing a natural retracement after the tear that it went on. 13 cents down here all the way up to 58 cents on this chart. A little pullback of what is that? Like, that's completely normal to pull back 30% in crypto. And like I say, that's a good thing for me because the more it consolidates means the next move is going to be towards my $1.90 target. So if we go a little bit sideways and maybe go up, down, up, that means that somewhere around here, late April, May, we're going to be testing that $1.50 to $1.90 level. Hopefully, if not, busting through. So all is good in the hood for the coins that I'm watching. And definitely getting some kind of altcoin price action down here. You're seeing things like T-Fuel, Ankara, Komodo Dragons coin, like some random kind of little poppers going off there. Theta obviously having a great day. So there's some bullishness in the alts, along with Bitcoin kind of turning the corner a little bit. But geez, Bitcoin kind of gave everyone a bit of a scare there and faked out of the channel. But I think that is definitely just a fake out. I think it's due to test this upper boundary. I wouldn't be surprised that if by the end of the week we're getting up towards 70. I think it's been in this larger accumulation for quite long enough now, since February actually. So it is well due to take its next leg up and then kind of lead the alts with it. So watching out to see what Bitcoin does and how it plays out. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Been Crypto Plan. Hope you like the analysis. Hope you're holding tight onto all your lovely bags that are going to break out soon after this little accumulation period. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.